Yo, what is good guys, your boy IzuKage here with a new what if, and this what if is what if Naruto was Muzans' reincarnation. So quick shout out to Izuku Midoriya. He's been around this channel for a really long time, like some of my first ever what ifs. So he was the one who suggested this idea, so he'll probably be in the comments, so make sure to go reply to him, drop him a like, you know, the good stuff, because this was a pretty good idea. I've been sitting on this idea for a while, but he really, made me do it. Also, we have a sponsor, me. So check out the link in the description for merch. Grab a shirt, a hoodie if you're not feeling any clothes. You could also get a sticker. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for even watching these videos. It means a lot. But with that all said, I'll see you guys in the next what if. Talk to me next. Look. So we start the story off after the Nine-Tails attack, and the main difference between this and canon is Naruto in this, after the Nine-Tails was sealed within him, Naruto was very sick due to the whole sealing process, because the tail beast took so much energy to be sealed. Naruto, he was very weak from it. Naruto, he couldn't do many of the things that kids his age would be able to. Well, Naruto, he's still a child, so after this, Naruto, Hiruzen took Naruto and put him in a hospital so he wouldn't die, and Naruto basically lived off his infancy in the hospital. So for the year that Naruto was in the hospital, he was actually taken really good care of. Hiruzen made sure that the nurses and doctors there, well, really took care of Naruto, because right now they still don't know that Naruto was the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails. So after about 2 years in the hospital, Naruto is 2 years old now. He's taken in by Hiruzen, who thinks he can take care of Naruto. But, I mean, him being the Hokage, like him coming out of retirement, him becoming the Hokage, and Naruto being very sick. When I mean sick, Naruto could barely walk, his bones could break easily, and his vision wasn't very good. So instead of getting someone to take care of Naruto like a normal person, after only 3 years of taking care of Naruto, Hiruzen just gave him his own house, still very sick. So Hiruzen had to bring not money to him like every month. He would bring like food and other essential items like water. So Naruto is basically bedbound for most of his life. It's like the older he gets, the worse and worse his condition becomes. So 4 months into living by himself, Naruto got up one morning and reached over to the table and starts preparing ramen. Like, Naruto had to have a table like right next to his bed because he just couldn't get up. So after eating the ramen and after heating up the ramen and eating it, Naruto just went back to lie down because that's really all he could do. Naruto didn't do much. He just laid there wondering why this had to happen to him. Why was his life a living torture? So Naruto looked over to the other side of the bed and saw a plush toy staring at him. The toy was a demon. A villager, quote unquote, gifted it to Naruto. And the reason I put it in quotes is, anything depicting evil figures is seen as bad luck in the Leaf Village, sort of like having a statue of Lucifer or something. But for Naruto, this was the only thing that stayed by his side for these months that he's been alone. I mean, he only sees Hiruzen now and then, so this plush is the only real connection that he has. So fast forward another 6 months, and this just continues on. And Hiruzen walks into Naruto's room, like one of the months he comes to drop off stuff. So he brings ramen, packs water bottles, some sweets even, and some, other stuff. And before he leaves, Hiruzen looks at Naruto laying in his bed in the dark and hugging tightly onto the toy. And Hiruzen wanted to hate Naruto because, I mean, the whole reason he set him to live by himself is he wanted really revenge for what happened to his wife. Because Hiruzen sees Naruto as the cause of it. Well, it really wasn't. Not even the Nine Tails was the cause of it. It was actually Obito. But hey, that's what Hiruzen thinks. He wants to get revenge for his wife's death. So that's why he sent him off to live by his own, even knowing his condition. And Hiruzen, he just couldn't hold it in. Like a single tear ran down his face, but he quickly turned around and walked out, wiping it away. And instead of going to the Hokage's mansion, Hiruzen went to the same hospital that Naruto grew up in. And, you know, the people there, they now have different feelings towards Naruto because, I mean, Danzo brought the news that Naruto was the Jinchuriki. So they all were like, did we really have to take care of that demon? So Hiruzen, like I said, he went to the hospital and made arrangements for Naruto to stay there again to try and find a cure for Naruto to recover from this. I mean, he doesn't know if it's a disease, a virus. He really doesn't know what Naruto is suffering against. So later that day, Hiruzen enlisted Anbu to help carry Naruto to the hospital where he stayed and got treatment. But the entire night they worked, and every medicine they could throw at Naruto, just nothing worked. And Hiruzen was there the entire time. That's why no one was doing any funny business. So when Hiruzen left, because I mean they were making no headroom, as instructed by him, the medical ninja, you know, they had to do everything they could to help Naruto. So one of the doctors specially assigned to Naruto, we'll call him Dr. Koro. And Koro went to Naruto's room at night and saw how weak and frail he was and smiled. And you see, Koro's entire family was killed by the Nine Tails, well, in the Nine Tails attack. And now he wants his revenge. So for the next month, Koro tries poisoning Naruto with everything he knows can kill someone. But Naruto, he keeps drinking all the medicine, quote unquote medicine Koro is giving him. And Naruto, he's completely fine. Koro just couldn't explain it. Like, he's used these before to kill people, but it doesn't affect Naruto. I mean, at worst, Naruto might catch the cold, but that's it. But Koro, he tries and tries, but nothing is working. So he starts to do his own research and came across a legendary flower that produces dangerous toxins. And the plant, you know, it's really rare. People in recent history haven't even found it. But it's said that the amount of toxins that's in the plant, other trees and plants and whatever that grows around it, they die out. And after cutting off the flower, it exposes the air to its toxins and kills anything that inhales it, like animals and even ninjas. So Koro took the necessary precautions, wearing a whole suit, and went out searching. And I mean, it was not easy to find. As I said, no one has found it in the last 100 years. So all Koro had was the visions of his dead wife and daughter to keep him going. And finally, after 3 months of searching, he finds it. So he harvests the flower and brings it to his lab and starts experimenting on it, trying to extract the poison. And the best method he came up with was just to grind the flower down and then mix it in with just water and pretend it was some medicine. So Koro, having his secret concoction, he takes it to Naruto. So he walks into his room and Naruto, he's looking the worst than ever, and he sees Dr. Koro and says, "Dr. Koro, I don't think I'll be able to make it." And Koro, he sounds enthusiastic. He says, "Don't worry, Naruto, I have the medicine. This is going to cure you 100%. So this is what Naruto is banking on to basically save his life. Because I mentioned it, the sealing of the Nine Tails, that's what's weakening Naruto. Because the seal works a bit differently than canon, because this Nine Tails is a massive beast. It's not just going to be chilling there. It's going to be trying to attack Naruto, and that's exactly what it's doing, attacking him from the inside. So Naruto, as soon as he gets this medicine from Dr. Koro, he quickly drinks it, and Dr. Koro asks, "Do you feel anything?" And Naruto says no. And Koro is like punching the air right now, but he calmly says, "No worries, I'll check on you tomorrow and you should be alright." So when he goes to walk out, Naruto, he's starting to feel a bit different. He can actually clench his fist without any pain. And speaking of pain, he doesn't feel much pain because even lying down was painful. So he was about to say, "Dr. Koro, it worked," but Naruto's mind went completely blank. And he pounced on Koro, shoving his nails into his neck, and Koro dropped to the ground, squirming in pain. So quickly, I want to take a quick break. For those who don't know the origins of Muzan's powers, this is basically how it went. He was really sick and he enlisted a doctor to make him some medicine, and that doctor used this random flower, and yeah, that's how Muzan was born. So anyways, Koro is like squirming on the ground and Naruto watches and he finally comes back to his senses, and then Koro stops and he looks very different. He looks demonic. So Koro is looking down at his hands and his claws and he's saying, "What did you do to me?" But Naruto, his eyes glow red and said, "Listen to what I say." And Naruto, he's subconsciously using one of Muzan's abilities, and that is mind control, mind controlling the people he's turned into demons. So Muzan, Naruto, he tells Koro that he should just play it natural and act as if this all never happened. So just like that, Koro, he returns to his usual self and Naruto goes and lies down in the bed. So Koro goes to the Hokage's office and told him that he finally found the cure for Naruto's ailment and he should be able to get out of the hospital in like a day, like tomorrow. And Hiruzen, he was surprised. I mean, he thought maybe he would get a message when this medicine was in development or something, but it was all so sudden. But I mean, he was happy, he was glad that Naruto could finally become a ninja and follow in his father's footsteps. So after that conversation, Hiruzen, he went to the hospital to meet with Naruto before he got out. And he sees Naruto and he looks a lot better. Like before, Naruto, his cheeks were sunken in and he was really skinny. But now Naruto, he looks like decently healthy. So Hiruzen starts to talk to Naruto, asking, I mean, how was, the whole process like? And Naruto just said he had to drink some medicine. And Hiruzen was amazed, really. So after all of that, the next day rolls around and Naruto finally leaves the hospital. But the day that he was in the hospital, like the day before, Naruto realized that the sun burns his skin. Like the light came through one of the windows and it landed on his arm and it started burning. So Naruto, he left the hospital in the night and now he has to figure out some way to overcome this weakness because he can't be a ninja and have a weakness to sunlight. So Naruto stays cooped up in his house thinking about it, and when Hiruzen comes over, he unlocks Naruto's door since he's really been over there so many times. He has the key and he looks around and sees sheets covering the windows. It's almost pitch black in the room. And Hiruzen walks in and says, "Naruto, where are you?" And from behind Hiruzen, Naruto creeps over him like a dark figure. And Hiruzen senses something and turns around, but it was a false alarm. Then when he turns back around, Naruto was in front of him with his blood-red eyes and shoved his nails into Hiruzen's chest. And this started infusing his blood into Hiruzen's body, turning Hiruzen into a demon. After this, Naruto instructed Hiruzen to go back to his regular Hokage duties, and Naruto looks at Hiruzen's blood on his hand and smiles. He thinks the world will be at his fingertips. So a year passes and Naruto is now 8 years old, making him eligible to join the academy. But the biggest hurdle for Naruto right now is the sun. But Naruto has a plan. He'll use chakra to coat his skin to protect him. And yes, this would require a lot, like an intense amount of chakra control. But that's exactly what Naruto has been doing strictly for the past year. Chakra control training. If Canon Naruto, who is like really dumb, and Trash with Chakra Control could climb a tree in like what, a day, then a intelligent, stronger Naruto could do a lot in a year. So before Naruto goes to the academy, he goes to a clothing store to get that Muzan drip. And he gets the usual, the white suit pants, a suit jacket with a tie, and with some formal shoes, but he doesn't get the signature hat just yet. That's his final form to become the smooth criminal, so I'll hold off on that for now. So Naruto, he goes to the academy and walks into class, and well, no one recognizes him, which is obvious since he spends most, if not all, of his life indoors. So Naruto's hairstyle also would be different, and since his spiky hair would sort of represent his personality being really bubbly and hyperactive, Naruto's hair would more resemble Mikey from Tokyo Revengers. So Naruto walks to the back of the class and gets a seat beside one of the windows, and a lot of the girls in the class are wondering, who is this, in a flirtish way, and most can't keep their eyes off Naruto. And Sasuke, he's feeling like Naruto is taking over his territory, and when Naruto walks past here, Sasuke, he thinks he isn't even that cool. So Iruka, he finally comes into class and he looks over the group, and he's pretty happy with the amount of people that are in his class. So Iruka begins the class and says he's Iruka and he'll be their sensei for their entire time in the academy. So they're all excited. They finally start their journey to become ninjas. It was just yesterday they were playing ninjas with paper ninja stars, but now they're the real deal. So Iruka, he starts the usual teaching. It's really not anything different than what me and you are used to, basic math, Japanese, and they would also be learning ninja history. So instead of regular world history, they will learn ninja history. So at lunch, Naruto, he is just chilling by himself, and he brought some ramen to eat because that's really all Naruto survives off of. He really doesn't have to eat, but Naruto, he wants to, be normal, fit in, so he does. And Naruto, he's there eating his ramen, and Sakura and Ino come up to his table and say, oh, you're eating something unhealthy, we brought, extra lunch. And they try sharing with Naruto. They take their chopsticks and shove it in Naruto's mouth, and he's just eating it because, hey, bro, free food. So after that, Sasuke, he's watching the entire time, and he's stuffing the food in his mouth, really angry, because he doesn't want to admit it, but he feels threatened by Naruto. He feels that Naruto is better than him. I mean, it is true, but Sasuke doesn't want to admit it. So at the end of lunch, Iruka, he comes into class and tells the students that he has a short evaluation for them. This will be used to track their progress as they go into higher grades in the academy. So he takes them outside, and this time there is no, fighting. It's just personal physical fitness. So they do laps until they collapse. Laps collapse. Aha, rhymes, yes sir. So they do laps until they collapse, and Naruto, he doesn't stop. Iruka has to stop him because Naruto, he would go on and on and on because his stamina is way more vast than any of the students there. Even Iruka himself, even every ninja in the village. So Naruto, he stops on his 25th lap, and everyone is impressed. People are on the ground dying after their 5th one. So Iruka, he's like, wow, that's incredible, Naruto. But Naruto, he just keeps to himself and goes to where Iruka instructs them. So the next place, Iruka has them do some accuracy training with kunai. And this, I wouldn't say Muzan has a specific ability that would help with this, but he does have enhanced perception, so he can see a lot better. So I feel like with this, Muzan would be pretty good at ninja, star, and kunai throwing. And throughout all of these tests, Sasuke is slowly realizing that all the students aren't even paying him any attention. Sasuke used to be the center of attention, but with the arrival of Naruto, Sasuke, he's just a background character, but he doesn't want that. So he's gonna show Naruto who's truly the strongest. So after all the tests are finished up and Iruka says, they can go home, he really doesn't have anything else to give them, Sasuke, he comes up to Naruto and, Naruto's back is turned and Sasuke pushes him. And all the students are watching and they're like, ooh, the stuff that kids do. So Naruto, he turns around and he smiles. And people are wondering, is he a psychopath who smiles after being attacked from, their blind spot? I mean, he wasn't really attacked, but still pushed. But no one smiles after that. So people are wondering, okay, he must be a menace. So Naruto, he says, what's your problem? And Sasuke says, I'm gonna show you who's the boss around here. And he rushes Naruto and throws a punch, but Naruto easily blocks this with his hand and counters by punching Sasuke in the side of his jaw. And this drops Sasuke to the ground, almost leaving him unconscious. And everyone is like, damn, like they are surprised by Naruto's strength and they start hyping up the fight. So they all make a circle around Naruto and Sasuke slowly gets up, wiping the blood from his nose, and he's like, okay, I'm not gonna look stupid in front of everyone. So he tries throwing another punch, but Naruto, he throws a punch as well, and both their fists meet, but Naruto easily overpowers Sasuke, and this breaks his wrist, and Sasuke's arm just almost goes limp. I mean, it isn't limp because his wrist is the only thing that broke, but the pain that shot through his arm, that's what made it limp. And Sasuke, he's screaming in pain, and everyone's seeing him act like some girl or something, like a crybaby, but in actuality this legitimately really hurts. So everyone, they're watching this complete brutal attack on Sasuke, and they are surprised by Naruto's strength. So after all of this, Iruka, he comes back outside and he sees everyone crowding around and he says, break it up, and he goes inside the middle and sees Sasuke on the ground while Naruto's standing over him. And Iruka grabs Naruto's arm and, gets him to back up from Sasuke, and he says, what are you two doing? And Naruto just says, I was just teaching him a lesson. And Iruka, he was not having this, so he sends Naruto off to the ninja equivalent of detention. I don't really know what that would be. Maybe he does some, I don't know, some missions? I don't know, some useless missions like having people cross the road. That's really the only thing I could think of. So after that, each year, these assessments are taken to track their progress, and Naruto's progress is just a sort of flat line because he does the same every single year. Each year he does 26 laps. It's the same thing every time. And Iruka, he's looking at this and he's even more impressed because, he doesn't know what's more impressive, increasing slowly over time or getting the exact same marks. At least, he's consistent. So during Naruto's 5 years in the academy, he would gain a lot of respect among his peers. Everyone would see him as the strongest in the class without a doubt. And a lot of the girls in class do like Naruto. They just don't know how to approach him, really. But Naruto, he's just always chilling in the back of the class, enjoying himself and taking in all of the information he's getting from the academy, because Naruto in this is really intelligent with Muzan's abilities. But in the background, apart from the academy, Naruto has been growing his army of demons, having making random villagers demons, giving them powers and instructing them to just go out to different lands, take note of everything around the Leaf Village, because Naruto's ultimate goal is to use his power of mind control to control the entire world. But that is where I'm gonna be leaving this one off. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video, and if you liked it, and if you like my content in general, consider subscribing. Also, I should have mentioned this at the start, if you guys have any ideas where you'd like me to take the story, anything you'd like to happen, please leave it in the comments down below, because sometimes it's kind of hard to come up with anything for these stories. But yeah, if you liked it, and if you like my content in general, consider subscribing. I don't know if I said that already, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.